Megwitch, and welcome to Tinker, Tailor, Solder Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Live Video Entertainment Network. I'm your host, Ian Horner, and joining me today is the Big Boss.
Gesundheit.
It's a thing we do here. I use a different. I try to broaden people's horizons with greetings. Today was Michif, the traditional language of the Métis people of Canada.
Ah,
yes.
I did not know that. And how was it?
Megwitch.
Megwitch.
Yeah, like a Meg sandwich.
Right.
And it's together.
And is that saying hello?
It's a general
welcome.
General greeting.
Cool.
So yeah, Megwitch and welcome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I only know one. Cam was instrumental in teaching us a lovely word in Cree after Heinz introduced mayo chup.
Yep.
Which means S-head.
I think also shit face.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, that's what I... shit head.
Oh, shithead. Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
that's why I said, no, don't worry about it. Anyway.
Hi.
Hi.
Of course, we've
I
got...
thought you said asshead.
No, S-head, I
Oh,
said.
S-head. Oh.
And now it's just all out the window. Ratings have been bumped up. Good. As always, got Beej on...
There's no mandate to not swear on this show. It's okay.
Beej on the ones and twos, and we have Matt on the cameras here today as
I'm here
well.
too.
So as you know, I've been working on the Open DSKY recently, which is the...
What is that?
The Open DSKY is an Apollo guidance computer replica that was given to us by Anonymousless. And it's...
What will it do when it's done?
Weirdly, a lot of things.
Really?
Mostly blink.
Yeah, but mostly Blink. It's got a GPS chip in it. It's got a MP3 player. So currently, as it stands, it will play part of JFK's speech about going to the moon and doing the other things, not because they're easy, but because they're hard.
But because they're hard, yes.
It also, you can use it to actually navigate. It will work like the full-on guidance computer. The problem is programming it to use on Earth, in a car versus on a...
Right. You can install that in your Mini?
I think the intention was for it to live on set here.
Lovely.
As a lovely piece de resistance.
Uploading our GPS coordinates to the world.
Oh, 100%, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll be using the test GPS function, not the actual GPS function.
Yes, next, the Enigma machine.
You joke about that, but the people who put together this, I think it was, STGEotronics, their first Kickstarter was a replica Enigma machine. So.
What is Saint Geotronics the patron of?
Saint Geotronics. Let's call it the, I'm going to say
magnetic fields.
Patron saint of cathodes.
Well, I'm here representing Saint Betty Crocker.
Yes. Because rather than go hard into the sanding on that, you have a problem.
This is just our toaster. So here's. Let me describe to you the symptoms of this deeply unexciting Betty Crocker toaster, and get ready for crumbs. When plugged in, because obviously it only does this when it's plugged in. The lever here, when depressed, should remain so. But it's too perky, and it pops back up. And now, if you press and hold it there, the heating elements will come on, and then shut off after some period of time. Now, I did a bit of research because I did not want to come into Tinker, Tailor, Solder Fry completely unprepared, even though this is not a how-to show because neither of us have repaired a toaster before. So I looked up sort of, basics of toaster repair. And wouldn't you know it, of the many brands of toaster that have specific teardowns on iFixit.
Really?
Yeah.
But
Betty Crocker is not one. They have, boy, do they have a lot. But the general prevailing theory is that when a toaster is exhibiting these issues, it's probably because of too much crumbs on the inside. So I thought it was like a mechanical issue with like the lever acting strange. But apparently crumbs can surround the thermal sensor and continually send a, no, it's done signal, which fires the toast back up.
I've done a little research myself on these as well.
Did you? Thank goodness.
Yes. I think what's going to have to happen is we are going to have to get this open up.
Yes.
Because we're going to need to find out if it's that issue or if it's a more sinister issue, because it all depends on what type of system your toast your toaster uses.
Yeah, this is a deeply boring looking toaster. Like there's nothing special going on in the inside. Just a lot of crumbs.
Oh, no,
By the way, I did remove a lot of crumbs already. Like the actual crumb tray just still has extra crumbs on it
And
that are now loose, even though I couldn't knock them out before. Here you go. Enjoy that crumb content. And the inside, lots of crumbs in there too. So this table's going to get a little messy. Maybe, yeah, doing this before the Apollo guidance system may have been ill-advised, but
Well, we're not working to NASA standards today, or
Thank goodness.
any day.
Are we going to bring out the parts washer?
Oh, we could do that, yeah. The
Now- sorry, yes, you were saying?
I was going to say, you mentioned that it's an unexciting toaster, but I'll save that for after your.
So the problem is on the bottom.
good
Oh
Lord.
Lord! On the bottom here, there are 3 Phillips screws, a torque,
One torque.
one
Singular
torque,
torque.
3 Phillips, 1 torque, and 2 of whatever that is.
Oh, those are some very good security bits.
What is why security bits?
God, I hope I have.
Definitely don't want you getting into that.
Yeah.
I think I have.
Well,
those.
because, warning, to prevent electric shock, unplug before cleaning. Okay, well, we've done that. It's definitely not plugged in. But yeah, basically, the general consensus from the internet was if your toaster is exhibiting this problem, take it apart, clean it out, put it back together, and see what happens.
So there's a number of different.
That's not even true, Mechakuga. I did clean, I shook this out over the sink for several minutes.
But did you burp it?
I did.
Probably just had to get banged around a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bringing it into the office today helped, I think.
The thing is, there's a number of different mechanisms that can be used on toasters. And you say this isn't a fancy one. Frankly, the most fancy toaster hasn't been made since the 60s.
Christ, here we go.
Which was I can't remember the actual model number, but someone will put it in the chat, I'm sure. It's a Sunbeam.
Uh-huh.
And
Sunbeam still make toasters.
They do, but they don't make this toaster because
Okay.
it had no lever. What it would do is you would place the toast in the top rack, and the toaster would take the weight of the bread, and the weight of the bread would sink the toast down into the toaster, which would then activate the coils. Once toasted, it would automatically raise the bread up slowly and pleasantly.
That's amazing.
It was all due to using the expansion and contraction.
Automatic beyond belief.
Yes.
Was that the tagline?
Yes, it
That's
is.
amazing. My parents might still have, had a
That's it.
much earlier.
By the time this video is over,
Thanks,
over.
Paige.
We'll know about toast. Had a much more earlier in the century toaster that it's sort of this kind of shape.
Oh, yes.
With 2 sides that come out, and you put the toast in the 2 metal sides, and then close them over the central
Flappy
element.
ones.
Yeah.
What, was it a double-sided one? Or was
Yes.
This, okay. yeah.
Yes.
Fancy then.
So I'll start with the Phillips because that's fairly normal. But
Yeah.
it looks like, see, the thing is, they all reside in the same. There are 4 quadrants, 3 of which contain Phillips and 1 which contains a torque. And maybe we don't have to remove those weird safety bits, but it looks like.
Oh, good. I do.
It looks like they just didn't want to bother with doing 4 torques, but they also didn't. They wanted to make it difficult for people to get into, so they were like, all right, look, we'll do 3 corners with Phillips, and we'll put a torque in the 4th corner just to bother people.
Well, this is the other thing I've recently found out about toasters in my research. Actually, oddly enough, research before you came up with this problem.
Really?
It was I was finding out about why toasters are so dangerous, and it turns out it has a lot to do with the way that with the evolution of the power plug.
Oh yeah.
Because the way toasters used to be and the way power plugs used to be non-polarized, it was very easy to just jam a fork into them even while they're off and receive an electric shock due to
Even while they're off.
the way grounding used to work.
Oh, good.
And so thankfully over time the adding of a 3rd grounding wire, keeping 1 pin standard hot, has allowed toasters to.
I like that the base has not clips. I don't know, bracket. They have is a system by which you could coil the cord up for easy toaster transport, you know, whenever you need to take the toaster with you.
There are not enough things there to hold the entire cord, though.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
That has to be a support-based thing.
So I think that's just a courtesy de-lengthener for people who want to keep their toaster closer to the.
okay, that makes way more sense, but there is this clip here,
Oh.
right? And then you could actually, like, snap the thing
Well, yeah,
like
because
that.
you definitely want
Yeah.
this side against the countertop
Holy
because the other
shit.
side has the
There we go.
controls.
Well, I guess actually, Beej, you know, you could actually do the whole thing.
Ooh.
So,
Okay.
anyway, I'm going to undo that now.
I would like viewers note. I'd like everyone to be aware that Graham does know that it's Torx. Torx is the name of the screw. He's just saying torque because it's funny.
Yes. Singular
Yes.
torque, multiple torques.
Yes.
Yes.
Please. How about the?
What? Uh-oh. I don't think any of those are big enough. This is a 6-pointed star.
Okay. Hold up then.
It's like this one, but much bigger.
I have more.
Great.
6-pointed scar screw? I've never seen that before.
When I started buying tools, I got really excited about security bits and decided I want to make sure I can get into anything. So.
Aha. This one, I think.
Does it have a divot in the center?
Too big. The thing, no.
Okay.
I think this one.
Thankfully, no.
There. That one. This is a T10.
Perfect. Let me get you a bit holder for that as
Please.
well.
Hoisted by his own Picard. Yes, I sure did.
The screw of choice in Canada is the Robertson head, which
Hell yeah.
you will also known as a square drive screw. We don't call it that. We call it the Robertson head after the guy who invented it.
It's the best one.
It is the superior screw option to just about every other one out there. But
I'll fight
because
you.
he wanted to get paid for it, he said, "I'm not licensing it unless you buy stuff directly from me." And people were like, "All right, we're gonna make inferior screws then."
Which is hilarious because he made a square.
Yeah, that's all it was. Just a square.
Patented.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't know about these security bits, so let's find out together if that's... Ooh, okay. It looks like the housing will come off. Looks like we can deglove this toaster. Without those security bits. Although, I don't know where this cord is going to go now that I say that out loud.
It might slide inside.
Do you need a hand there to?
Potentially, I don't know exactly what's... Oh, there's snaps. Of course there's snaps. There we go. Holy moly. Ah, now. You know what needs to happen?
I think I know what you need to do.
Well, the handle for the lever needs to come off the side, or else nothing's going anywhere.
Yeah.
This thing can't really go. This can't really go inside the thing. So I think this just pulls off.
And now I'm recalling the the first instructions of the toaster repair guide I followed,
Oh,
which was remove exterior levers and knobs.
well, it's a neat trick to just say that. There we go. Got it. Now then. It's now reseated on some of its snaps. Hang on.
Definitely going to want to bring this.
There we are. Uh-oh. Hang on. There's a circuit board in here,
Yep, that.
and we're connected to it.
At least
So
on one side you can disconnect.
here we are, viewers at home. There's a whole ass circuit board in there, and it's very connected to the bottom here. Is that okay? So we can unplug this,
Yep.
and the other plugs on this side are in this part. So this is going to be interesting to get back together, but I think I can certainly get it apart.
Okay.
Are you sure it doesn't disconnect at the toaster side and not the circuit board side?
On this side, it disconnects at the toaster side. Well, this is not useful for the viewers. Hang on, go back to the wide. On this side, you see the plug here, it disconnects on the toaster side. On this side, these are soldered into the toaster, this half, and the plugs are on the board
I
side.
bet that was done last.
Oh, interesting.
Oh wait, that makes it way easier.
Yeah.
having done that one, there we go, and then that one. Haha! All right,
If nothing else, you're gonna have a very clean toaster by the time you're done this.
that's the plan. There you go. There's a naked toaster. Wow, how did all these crumbs
favorite Metal Gear
happen?
character. All right.
So, it's just turning this back and forth. You just hear
Rattle.
crumbs in place. It's just 5 sides, and yet you can hear crumbs moving around. They've gotten into like
Every cranny.
places, yeah.
It's literally a bread bowl.
Okay, so yeah, all this is the circuitry for the. I assumed these would be more mechanical, but for the dial and the buttons, which by the way are a snowflake, which I believe is from Frozen, a bagel for bagels, and the toast eject button for when you need to abandon ship.
Because I had assumed that the snowflake was for turning it back into bread.
Yes, of course.
Through Elsa's magic powers. Yeah, I got the name right. Good. That leads me to believe that you might have a toaster that is not based on a thermostat, but is instead based on a time.
That seems potential. Is the real question is what usually keeps the lever down?
Aha!
And is that the part that's broken? So here's the lever. Here, man, I'll move this out of your way. Here's the lever. And it's real loose. So ordinarily this goes down. Okay, so I'm learning now. So this goes down and makes a connection with this this thing here.
Yep.
That's I can feel the resistance there. That's a switch. So normally this goes down and then locks, and I'm trying to figure out where the actual part that locks is.
Usually on some toasters, the locking mechanism is a solenoid.
Ah, yes, it
Or an
is. It is.
electromagnet.
It's right here. It's an electromagnet.
Yes.
Because this is the top of the electromagnet. This is the bottom. So it would go down, lock there.
Yep.
So that's not happening right now.
So now we need to find out why.
Yeah.
And the first question, actually this was covered in my tutorial. The first thing to do is to check whether or not
Penbo.
you're getting continuity between or through the solenoid, because that will tell us, or it should tell us if it's functional.
I would also like a stick at some point to clear out the crumbs from the inside of this, the central, I don't know, the oven, I guess.
Stick.
All right, so what do you need to check?
Well, find the in and out points on that electromagnet, and just see if it will conduct electricity through it.
Oh, it's this. This is the only cable connected to the electromagnet.
Okay.
So I guess it's these two
Yep, those two.
holes, right? Like that's the only. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing else actually electrically connected. Pardon me.
Inhaling crumbs.
So yeah, this little cord here is that comes off that connects to the. Now this connects to that other thing there.
That
Interesting.
connects into the that tells me the
Thank you.
thing.
That's exactly what I was looking for. All right. Well, so I just put these in here. Do you think it'll work?
yeah, or actually use the
there?
open pads on the back.
Oh no, hang on. That one came out. Just a second. There's a better way for me to hold this. There and there.
Okay.
How's that look?
Well, we are getting some resistance there, so that could be interesting.
So when this comes down, so if you see here, so there's this, I'm gonna use this to point, there's this copper flap here. And when the lever comes down, it hits this, which pushes that copper flap forward, which makes a connection there.
Wow. That is the, yep, that's definitely a janky toaster switch.
It looks like it's not making, so there's two of them, and it looks like it's not making a full connection reliably on the identical copper paddle further from camera.
So here's a good test then for us. Can you depress? I don't think it should be going all the time like that.
Have we found a short circuit in the toaster?
We may have. So let's try that side there, like that. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be. And then if we,
You can't see that. What's happening? Hang on.
yeah, let's turn that around.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, yeah. Do that. We have a second camera for this, or a fourth camera, an additional camera.
So I'm just grabbing the two contacts on the outside of that that switch.
So each of these white cables here is connected to a copper paddle. You can just see the tops of them there. And when the lever that I push comes down, it hits that wire, this wire here, and it makes the copper paddles come forward. But it looks like one of them isn't connecting, and Ian may have found a short.
I just realized this is literally the power in port, so we can actually do this right off the plug.
Here, move that so they can. He's got the. Okay.
Oh, wait a second. So the switch is fine, and actually, logically, that makes sense because, as you said, when you push it down and keep it held down, the power stays on.
Yes, but. Okay, so yeah, so this paddle isn't bending, I feel like, as easily as maybe it should. That seems like such an unreliable. Pardon me. That seems like such an unreliable way to do your switch in a thing that's going to be full of crumbs.
How much did your toaster cost you?
Oh, I don't know. This is not a good toaster.
Mm-hmm.
Betty Crocker makes fine baked goods, but I don't know about kitchen appliances.
I bet you it's a rebrand of something.
Oh, almost definitely. Whoa. Oh, it's dark. It's grim on the inside of this. Getting some good cleaning done though. So, all right. So what do we think? What's our hypothesis then?
I think the problem is you don't floss enough.
I floss.
Occasional?
Have you been flossing? Does like just before I came here for this checkup count?
I generally give it about a couple weeks, and then they don't notice.
Good, good.
Would you pass me the cover there?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it might be interesting.
Want to come back wide beach?
Yeah.
Since we're not, thank you.
We're not actually diddling with it.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense to take this out necessarily right now, but I'm kind
Take
of...
what out?
That board?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, this is...
One thing I'm gonna do is try to bend this back a little bit so that it more reliably makes contact.
Yeah.
Like just give this a little.
Give him a bit of a move.
Just drill it with that wood.
Now, when you had it, I mean, you've probably never tried this before, but when you've had it not plugged in, have you been able to depress the lever and have the lever held down?
No, it never works if it's not plugged in.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
common with a lot of toasters
Yeah.
because of the electromagnet.
Yeah.
If it's not actually plugged in, you can't. It doesn't even stay down.
Right.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense now, knowing, of course, that it's an electromagnet.
Here, let me have a look here.
I wish I knew why this was so. Because like, why is it this way?
It's dancing. That's cool.
Yeah, but why is it like this? It's obviously designed like this. But why does it move? Why is it that mobile?
Bracing costs money is my only...
Yeah, because it's like the outer casing is going to actually control the position of the lever. So
Because it's cheap to make. Yeah, probably.
for purposes of troubleshooting.
If it was dirt stopping the contacts, just taking it apart may have dislodged it and solved the issue. Yeah, I mean, like I said, in what little research we did, the general consensus was, well, it's probably crumbs, so clean it. You know, so that may be all we need to do.
That said, I'm going to do it. Quickly take this motherboard out of the toaster here.
Excuse me.
I was going to say, could you just slide the cover back on, plug it back in, and see what happens when you depress it? Will it actually hold in
Well,
place?
not with what Ian's doing.
No.
We could, but that's less fun.
Ian wants to have fun tonight, guys.
Agreed.
So actually, what I was going to suggest we do is disconnect the power portion,
Really?
or rather the heating portion of the toaster, and just let us experiment with it while it runs on its own. Here we go.
Disconnect the heating portion from what?
From the heating elements. So let's bring this down here again.
So I don't know. I don't know what you're suggesting.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this here is the these wires go to the heating elements of the toaster. So if we disconnect these from here, I believe,
Can you do that?
yeah, they should just pop right off.
They sure do.
Boop and boop.
Okay.
Okay, so now what's going to happen is it's just not going to drive the toaster anymore. Although that, oh damn it, everything's on the same circuit, which is fine.
I mean, that makes sense. Again,
Yeah, we want everything to be on the same circuit. I was hoping we'd
cheaper, presumably.
All right, well, I'll plug that back in. Let's get this all together again here.
So did that preempt your idea, Ian?
Not by much. But my thoughts have been confirmed that this toaster is in fact works off of time rather than temperature.
That makes sense. Because the dial doesn't seem to do a damn thing.
Yeah, all the dial's going to do is change some timing in this little chip down here.
Yeah, well, that chip is obviously effed, because the difference between, it's like, 1 is like the toast was barely touched, 2, basically the same, 3, about the same, 4, perfect toast, 5, carbon biscuit. When it goes up to, what, 7? Yeah, it's like, it's, whatever scale it's operating on is useless.
I've never heard that cover band before.
Carbon biscuit?
Was it?
Oh, they're great. If you like black metal.
Ah, can, cancel, bag, bagel, def, defrost. Not can, bag, and defense.
Defense is my dump stat. I put everything into bag.
So,
I mean, while it's here, I'm just going ham
yeah.
with the
with the cleaning?
you know, this is years of caked on crumbs in here.
What's the weirdest thing you've toasted? If you-
Bread.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Sometimes people have weird lives.
But among the breads, which is the darkest bread you've ever toasted?
The only time I've used a toaster for non-toast reasons.
Like bagels, waffles, Pop-Tarts. Not commonly, and probably not for about 10 years. Yeah, I don't know.
I've used one to melt embossing powder when I used to do fancy letters.
You never just turn it on its side and like put like a piece of toast in, or a piece of bread in there with cheese on it and see what would happen?
No.
No, you never
Fire,
just
probably.
draped bacon over the dividing rod and
That sounds incredibly stupid.
sure does.
How'd that work out for you when you did it, presumably?
I never did it. I'm just saying we've got a toaster here in the office right now, and presumably you bought bacon.
I did not buy bacon. I did, however, bring a loaf of bread in the optimistic intent that this would be fixed at some point.
Oh, you don't know how this show works.
Ah, there we are. What do you do?
It toast.
It's a toaster, Ian.
I see we have a loaf of bread on the table too.
Oh, this is a DAC. Right. Oh,
Hang on, a digital audio converter?
sorry. Yeah, AC to DC converter is what I meant.
Okay.
So you're now connecting it without the.
Without
oh,
the
okay.
shell.
Yeah, right. That works.
And this way we can actually.
So we should be able to completely run the toaster like this.
Exactly.
How safely, I'm not sure.
Well, all we're looking for is does the lever stay down?
Yeah.
I just don't want people to get shocked because they
Like-
touch something by
To
accident.
double check to see if there's any place I can connect to that. On
Yeah, because I bet you some part of that is going to be the entire metal exposed structure, because it's all one piece,
Yeah.
is not live. It is not something that needs to be like grounded.
No, because
Otherwise, you would touch the outside of the toaster and you would die.
so. Oh, hey buttons.
Oh yeah, those will pop out.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is the top of the toaster, which is metal, and the inside of that is not insulated and directly interacts with this metal here. So, yes. That said, we will be very careful.
Do you want gloves?
Why would I want gloves? I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
No, it's where's the lever? Just the
the
plastic. There it is.
There we go.
Just for the benefit of those watching at home, we'll put the lever back on. It's still not plugged in, by the way. There you go.
All right. So we're going to plug it in. Do not touch anything metal.
No, I'm not going to
Past this point.
until we unplug it.
Yep. And then it's physically unplug.
Would anyone like a glove?
No, we're good.
Great.
Now, if you let go,
Yep. Nothing happens, but smoke was happening.
oh yeah, no, the heating element turns on.
Real quick.
But as you noticed, the electromagnet. Careful there.
Yeah.
With your fingers are getting awful close to the casing itself. The electromagnet did not stay on.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm going to ask you to do that in a second here.
Can
One
you
sec.
test that magnet while it's live then?
That's what I'm doing.
All right.
So Ian's got the probes on what part of the circuit board?
The electromagnetic part. Okay, I'm not seeing anything there. Okay,
So the heating elements are coming on right now.
let go. I'm going to disconnect the magnet and just go right into the pins on the board. Actually, you know what I'm just going to do on the back, because I can do that easily right there.
One more time with the
Yeah, give me the magnet.
nothing.
Nothing yet. Oh. I should make sure that I actually have got the right ports there.
It's starting to smell like toast in here.
Well, it's because of all the crumbs.
That was the stroke I was having.
We're all having it together.
Hooray!
That's great.
Don't you need bread in there first before the solenoid activates? I don't think
No, there's nothing in here that.
it needs bread to complete the circuit. I don't think that's true. On my toaster, it won't stay down without toast in it.
There are some like that.
Yeah, there are some that do that.
Well, I mean, so having toast in there would put weight on those two thingies, but those thingies are not connected to anything that would care. You know what? We got we got bread. Let's try it. Yeah.
There's no sin. There's nothing stopping us.
No. Bread is not the answer. In this instance, purely, bread is not the answer. We'll come back to that bread later. You stay there, friend. Friend bread.
You eat your friends? It's weird.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking we try.
So we don't know where the failure point is yet.
Push it down one more time for me, please. No, not getting anything off that.
So we assume that the electromagnet, it's something to do with the magnet. Either the magnet isn't working or the magnet isn't being told to turn on. No, we did plug those back in.
Yes, we did.
The things that Ian
Don't
unplugged.
touch those, because
Yes.
those are actually fully live right now.
Yes.
Let's unplug that right now while we fiddle a bit here.
Good idea.
Ay, 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 ay.
And you plug those back into the correct
Yes. Yeah,
ones.
Yeah, there's.
I don't see why it would make a difference, but there we are. I mean, I know why it would make a difference. But
And actually on toasters, it generally.
now here's a no. That's yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, ignore me. That's where the heating element goes. Yes. Okay. Check the timing mechanism. Ah, the timing mechanism. Yes.
Yes. That would be this.
Well, it's the
Well, all that does is adjust voltage to the various areas.
well. If you haven't turned that since you took it out, it's at 4.
I mean, also, no matter what, even if
7.
it's on 1, there's no 0 setting.
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't. There's no setting on the where it goes down and comes right back up. So.
Can you check if the
Did you check continuity after plugging those connectors back in?
Sure.
So you did that before, and you said that you didn't think that should be happening.
Yeah, I was confused as to why that was happening, but because it doesn't feel like this should, unless that's.
It might be that when you depress the thing, it's acting as a switch to direct electricity elsewhere.
Yeah, I think it might. Yeah, just be doing that to short it. So push that thing down.
I'm gonna hit you.
Oh, so you are. Hit you as hard as I can.
With a toaster.
Right, because that comes up through there. So that.
Yeah, there's
so
no
yeah,
power to the toaster, it won't power the solenoid, so you can't test it unplugged.
yes,
Yeah, that's not what we're testing
So
right
yeah,
now.
that should be. That's continuity. That's good. If we go there to there. That's continuity, that's good. Okay, so that means we should be able to check the solenoid.
Interesting that there's 2 going in to the elements over here and only 1 on the other side.
That's because these, if you follow the trace and end up here,
Which is great for us and terrible for everybody else watching.
these only go for the outer 2. And if you
I
follow
see.
those, that goes to the bagel interior.
The bagel
The
and
bagel interior. It's like an episode of Fantastic Voyage.
does it reach the hole in the middle though?
Right, because for bagel you can do the setting where it only does, it says, on here, it'll only do the outside elements, not the inner ones.
Because that's the side that you want.
As you can see there, it's not quite in focus, but cut side out, it says. So that's how you do bagels in this particular toaster, is you face them away from one another so they don't talk.
Where would you put the toaster in the hierarchy of electric tools in the kitchen? Like what place?
So Anarin asks, sorry Matt, one sec. Is the wire on the side sticking up and leading into that white box meant to be pushed down by the lever because it's not being pushed down by that right now? The wire on the side, do you mean this is not plugged in, correct?
If you mean this wire, or this wire, or this wire, none of these are meant to be pushed by anything.
No.
This wire is only there as a stabilizer, it looks like, or a spring. I'm going to ask you to check I'm going to plug this back in.
Okay.
And ask you to plug it in one more time. I'm going to just test directly off the pins for the solenoid. But because I'm not getting any continuity off the electromagnetic itself, that makes me wonder if it's if that's the problem. I'm just going to turn this to make it easier for myself. You might have to reach
You
around.
can go to number 5. Just going to let that sit there.
Given your okay.
I'm going to wait till you get in position and you tell me when.
I appreciate that, because that's a little bit safer. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, it's
Hold
definitely meant to be catching, and it's not.
One more time. Yeah.
Shall I try it with bread in?
You can, but the fact that I'm not getting... I mean, let me just plug the adapter back in now. Yep.
Well,
So, this leads me to believe that it's either a problem, let's unplug that, with the electromagnet itself, or with whatever's driving the electromagnet on the board itself.
so can we test, is the bit on the lever magnetically attractive? Maybe something broke off.
There should be nothing magnetic on this,
Yep.
because if that were the case, the magnet would never go off.
So if the
Magnet would never turn off, because natural magnets don't turn
I don't
off.
think you can quite see this. You can't, I don't think there's a good way for us to get an angle, but on the bottom of this pad, you can see where it has always directly interacted with the magnet. So there's nothing there. It's not dirty in any way.
can you this is going to sound maybe weird or dangerous, but could you not turn the thing on and then hover like a needle or a nail or something over top of or a screwdriver over top of the electromagnet to see if it actually wants to grab it, just to see if it's has
Well,
any
but it
attractive
shouldn't
force.
grab until this lever goes down and is unplugged?
Yes, as it
until it
pushes
goes
the
down and
switch.
flips the switch and
Yep.
tells that to
Right.
go.
Yeah, that's
But look, Ian. The look at this. No, look down from above of this paddle.
okay. That's
You can't.
But when you do it, you're not just tickling it that little bit.
True, but I mean, is there that would be the failure point? That one of those paddles is not
Well, if that were the case, you wouldn't get any. The toaster wouldn't turn on at all.
right.
Like this is literally
Right,
the power switch.
because the heating elements turn on.
Yeah, this turns everything on.
Yeah, the heating elements turn on. The electromagnet does not. This is where we're hitting the problem. Is that the electromagnet is not grabbing the lever to hold it there. And I don't know how we would test or replace that.
Well, we can test it, but if I can find out what it's supposed to get voltage-wise, we could pump that into it and see if it works as an electromagnet magnet on its own.
All right.
But again, because I'm not getting anything from the board. Like there's just no voltage going to that electromagnet when it gets turned on. But
Oh, that's what you were testing with when you put those in.
Yes.
I see. I see. So where's that coming from?
Does the board look damaged at all?
that was my next.
I mean, this is a little bent weird, but
that's normal.
Fine. The board doesn't. Sorry. Here's the board.
So before we do anything else,
If you imagine, so the dial on the front is connected here. This is where you do the adjusting the temperature, and then there's can bag def, cancel bagel defrost. The board looks fine. Like visually, everything seems all right.
That thing doesn't look like it's cooked or blown.
No. I mean, here's the back of it.
back
Everything
looks
seems fine over here too.
My first thought was to check these capacitors to see if any of those had blown.
Oh, well, let's give it a shot.
No,
What? What?
that's just toast crumb on it. Toast crumb on everything.
I mean, that's probably not great, but it's also unprotected in the bulk of the toaster, and they should assume that toast crumb can get on it. Is the cancel button stuck? There's an idea.
I'm plugging it in just... Oh, actually, we can test that via continuity as well.
No, the cancel button clicks.
That doesn't
Very nice. It's a very nice click.
Sadly, that doesn't necessarily mean as much as one thinks it would.
It's so dry with all those crumbs. What's the resistance of bread?
Can you push the cancel button?
Yes. That's me holding it in.
That's So you holding it in?
Yep.
Okay. And we'll let go. Interesting. Well, that's...
Well, yeah, if the cancel button was stuck, it wouldn't... Well, not necessarily, Lord Haas, because the cancel button might... The cancel button, in my experience, disconnects the electromagnet, and then it fires up, and then that lever going up turns off the heating elements, because the lever needs to be down to turn off the heating elements.
I was on the wrong sides of the button. Please push again. Let's try this. Okay, that's good.
It is not plugged in right now.
Let's try the other button. The next one down. Okay. Finally, the last one. Okay, let's go back to cancel. See if there's a problem here. Okay, so it's not stuck. That's fine.
The buttons all seem to be working as intended.
Mm-hmm.
We're not testing the magnet right now. We're testing if there's continuity through the buttons.
Mm-hmm. But the magnet should... Do you mind if I disconnect the magnet from the device?
No, go for it. I mean, at this point, it looks like we may not be able to fix it, so then we'll just have to get a new toaster.
Same company or going for a different
I'll
one?
probably not go with Betty Crocker on this particular occasion.
Let me tell you, I brought what looks to be a mid-80s Panasonic from a local thrift shop. It's fantastic.
Nice.
All right. So the thing about electromagnets is that they are quite susceptible to self-damage via heat or power surge, because they're literally just bits of tiny wire wrapped around a iron core.
Mm-hmm. Here's the electromagnet. It says 7R on the top of it. And there's no other indication of what voltage or anything this could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
So, for you, sir.
Thank you. Ooh. All right.
Blast egg. The problem with the toaster is the lever doesn't stay down.
Yep.
And so,
One more time.
basically what that means is that the electromagnet is not grabbing the lever to hold it down. When pressed and held, the heating elements engage and turn on, but without the magnet to hold it there, you'd have to hold the thing down for the duration of your toast. So what are you trying to do right now, Ian?
Trying to see if it's giving any sort of resistance, and it's giving 68 ohms of resistance, but 0 continuity. Which tells me...
There's a parabolo with this magnet.
Yep.
How do you fix an electromagnet?
Oh, well, you buy a new one. Because the only way to fix it... Oh my, what's that in there? The only way...
What did you just do and see?
so if you look down the side there, I can't tell if that's a crumb or if that's a short or an explosion through the tape.
Oh, I see. You think that might be a piece of the copper wire coming through.
Yeah.
There's no way this is going to come across on camera, but there's between the yellow tape here, oh, maybe, there's like a little thing there, and I think it's just a crumb,
Okay.
but let's find out. I need something smaller than this.
How about that?
Ooh.
Yeah. As the chat is pointing out,
It was a crumb.
Okay.
As the chat's pointing out?
The best way to fix an electromagnet is to get a few hundred yards of copper insulated wire and start wrapping.
Just start again.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're going to try and get the tape off that.
I don't want to try and get the tape off. I think that would be a bad idea, but the tape is sort of stuck in like that. So yeah, so if you're not just to clarify, when you say you're not getting any continuity, you mean that
it should.
well, it's broken.
Yeah, there's a break or disturbance in the wire somewhere along there. It's not a numbered part of the magnet itself. For those of you asking.
Now that you can see at the end of this cord leading into the electromagnet, you can definitely see a teeny little bit of copper visible there.
Ooh, okay.
But I don't know if that's a problem or if that's just operating as intended.
It's hard to tell, but yeah, because it is literally just wire going around, it should make the beep sound. And the
Right,
fact-
because it goes into the magnet and comes out of the magnet.
Yeah, and the fact that it's not
And
making the beep sound,
makes no beep.
and this was literally the first thing they said to test when looking at if you're using an electronic toaster.
Now we go full Mythbusters and hook it up to a car battery and see if it fires. Solder it. I don't see how that would help. We could like cut this off and see if it's just the end, but I kind of doubt that would be the problem.
Yeah, we could try to find some way of giving it some voltage and see if that does anything.
I mean, like, it could be like this, right? So if we like snip it and test the wires, but
I mean, I can probably jam it in there just up at the base where the wires meet the.
really,
bottom.
just jam it in.
Well, yeah. If there's exposed wiring, so there's a bit there.
He's going to try and physically enter the electromagnet.
So again, that's normal. Getting a big fat 1 right there. Yep, and that's not even getting a reading.
Well,
Yep.
I bought all this bread.
Oh no.
It's okay, we needed bread anyway.
Should we have a 9-volt battery?
We should. Beach, do we have a 9-volt battery?
I'll go check.
What number of A's is a 9-volt?
6.
Oh.
6 triple A's. Or, sorry, 6 quadruple A's.
Because just for fun, I am going to hook this up to a direct voltage. Just need to extract some pins.
So what are you doing now? You're taking the cap off?
Just trying to pull the these pins out of this, this little cap here. Usually they're just held down with a springed leaf. But sometimes they... Oh, there we go.
There are 6 quadruple A cells in a 9-volt battery?
Correct.
Huh.
They're kind of cool. You can actually take them apart yourself if you'd like.
A 9-volt is made of 6 1.5-volt quadruple A cells. 9 volts is 24 A's.
Okay, I do not have a 9-volt, but I can provide you with 4 double A's
Do you have anything?
or a camcorder battery.
What's a camcorder battery put out?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I think 12 or 24 usually.
I'm fascinated to see where this goes.
Well, it's either going to go someplace
5-volt usually, surely, right?
7.2.
7.2.
Yeah.
That's almost 9.
That should be fine.
That's how electronics work.
The difference, I mean, the potential is there, right?
Like I said, there's
That's not one we use on
Whoops.
the C100, right?
No?
no.
Didn't think so.
But please don't
Yeah.
break it.
No, I'm not going to take the C100 one. Like,
No, but I mean, we...
don't break this one either.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that I can do this one actually. These seem intelligent, and I would rather also not do it to a lithium-ion battery.
Great. Would you like multiple? Would you like
Actually, no.
multiple double A's?
Just a double A is fine.
be single or double A?
It should be fine.
Okay.
It's a smaller explosion if it's only one of them.
Like, we really don't need much in order to show off. Okay, and that screw is magnetic, so that's good.
Is this a fancy toaster? No. Not a fancy toaster. I wouldn't even say snow cookies. I wouldn't even say it's a normal toaster. I'd say this is a deeply unimaginative toaster.
What is your dream toaster?
I don't know. A dream toaster.
Human being.
What?
His name is Jeeves, and he makes me toast. How does he make it? I don't care, because his name is Jeeves, and he makes me toast.
I also have a selection of probably dead batteries. You could work off those if you wanted to.
This is fine.
Great.
So what we're going to do here, so this should 1.36 volts coming off this battery,
Okay.
which, if it's working, we should be able to get something. It should hook up, or should pick up something.
So it's very dead, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, unless I've got the polarity wrong there, which I don't think should matter.
Is that ferromagnetic? Yes, we just tested it with the magnetic. Oh, interesting.
Okay,
The
the plot deepens. Where'd you go, screw? Let's just double check
It's fine.
to make sure that it's not just okay. Okay.
So the magnet.
Yeah.
Oh ho.
Okay. I can confidently say, I can say with confidence now, that this,
The electromagnet functions.
yeah.
So why was that circuit not complete? Try it now. Try to see if you get continuity with these ends. Is your setting on the, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So not getting continuity through there evidently does not affect whether or not does not indicate whether or not the electromagnet is functional. Okay.
Interesting.
So the magnet is not getting power, question mark?
Well, we can keep trying that. I'm going to once again put this in volt reading mode. Okay, because it's not. Yep, okay, that's correct. Let's test that board again while it's working. Bring it on over. And before I actually plug it in, let's have a look at their traces and see where things go. So it looks like this might be the thermostat itself on the back.
This brick,
Yeah.
the Tianbo 12 volt DC something or other.
I think it's a relay. No, that can't be a relay.
This is a little loose, but not enough that it's not making a connection.
No, and those will just be sending power to the what looks to be the heating elements.
And this is plugged all the way back in. All right.
All right. So what traces off to get to that toast thing? It goes through the capacitor, comes around and goes there and there as well.
It's weird to me that one of these contacts is still bright copper and the other one is dark.
That's kind of worrisome. So diode, and then to this friend here. That traces to the resistor, which connects to the switch LED. This one traces down to the cancel button.
An electromagnet works if you pass AC through it, right? I mean, isn't that what we just did?
No, we passed DC through.
Right, okay, sure.
Was that a question on their part? Or?
Yes,
Okay.
the gravity pike was asking that, yes.
Yeah, I don't. It's been a long time since my. I don't think it works if you pass AC through it. Or it might.
Is that relevant?
It shouldn't be.
All right.
Alrighty. Well,
That was a sesame seed once.
I'm just going to take these readings again.
All right.
Make sure I've got the right pads this time.
So what are you getting readings of at the moment?
This time I'm going to see if we're getting voltage off the board into the electromagnet section. So let's plug that back in.
All right.
Engage danger mode.
The toaster is live. Your head's awfully close to it.
All right. Give me a push.
Your hand's right up against the thing.
Okay, release. Let's try the other side.
What are you doing when you change those settings there?
I'm trying to see if this, I'm using the wrong voltage side. Go ahead. I remember I was using the wrong one before. Nope, okay. Nothing there.
Do you have the meter measuring AC or DC? Asks Gravity Pike.
That's a good question, Gravity Pike. I believe I've got it in AC right now, but I could be wrong. I think, well, it's, I don't want to measure right off the mains, because that's a good way to blow out your multimeter. I've done that once before.
How old is this toaster? I have no idea. I'm not desperate to save it. It's more sort of like, this seems like something we should be able to fix kind of thing, but it may be beyond us. Oh, it's going. You can hear it.
I think your problem might be deeper, because I just realized something. Your LEDs don't glow.
They don't, they go when you press those buttons.
Oh.
So you put it down and you go, this is a bagel.
Did they go on before?
Yes? Huh.
Interesting. Well, unfortunately, I think we're actually beyond my ken here, because I'm not entirely. I could go through and test these various components, except for the chip and the diodes, because I'm not entirely certain how one would test those, because I've never had to do that before. But I think you might be down with
If it has LEDs and controlled at that level, I assume the timer has a microcontroller and they don't have an infinite life. Yeah, that may be the case.
Yep.
Reassemble and test. I mean, we may as well reassemble it, but I'm not holding my breath.
All right, well, I'll see if I can jam this back in there.
If it has LEDs, it has an AC/DC converter.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 amps. Yeah, which I think is what this little guy in the back here is, because it takes, no, that's, 12 volts DC. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
12 volts DC, 10 amps 120 AC, 7 amps 240 AC, 5 amps 240 AC. It says in smaller letters.
Multiple outputs.
I will unplug the toaster.
Yes, that's appreciated.
Move components to next level of engineering. The bin. Very nice.
Yeah. Well, my apologies there. I think, yeah.
Oh,
we were
well.
Out of luck. So I guess while we, do you want me to fully reassemble this plug here? Put it back to the way it was?
Oh, heck, why not? I'll put the circuit board back and everything.
Uh-oh, well. You might. At least that way you can leave it as you found it. Like a good park ranger.
Now.
Take only pictures, leave only toasters.
I think one of the reasons you actually have this this bendy bit here is to allow you to actually access the screws on this electromagnetic.
Well, whatever has to happen, I suppose.
Did I say something funny, Beach?
I just think that's really funny that it's like, oh, well, you know, because it's all fucked up and awful, this is actually a good thing.
Is it?
What screws did you take out of this?
Oh, those were these friends here. And you'll probably want that to deal with it.
It's so wee.
So you can get it inside the toaster body.
Yeah.
I suppose I can solder that wire back in.
You like soldering.
I do, and I'm probably not going to do any goodbye, any other soldering tonight, so why the heck not?
I'm just putting the circuit board back where it's supposed to be, all unprotected to the crumbs and elements. It's a very handy little size of screwdriver here.
So what's your toaster budget look like?
I think that's a question for you.
I don't know.
How many slats are you gonna?
You can go pretty redonkulously high on a toaster
Oh, yeah.
Are you thinking like just hit up Value Village?
for like secondhand.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. What's the wire cutter like in toasters these days?
Oh, well, hell no. Have I got... there's an episode of Hypercritical you need to listen to.
Yes.
It's only recent as of, I think, about 2014 or 2012, but...
One of my favorite tech podcasts, what they did for a or what they take sponsorships as one is wont to do in the podcasting world, and one of the sponsors they signed up was Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, yes.
And so during that time frame, Max decided it would be a good and fun joke to send John Siracusa, one of the hosts, a new toaster every week for a number of weeks for him to review on air. I'm going to need that
Oh, sorry.
in there. Sorry, just
Oh, yes, of course, please.
John went on for weeks about trying to find the proper toaster oven, the one that had all of the features that he wanted. And of course, you can't on like he's not going to buy toaster after toaster after toaster, so he had to do a lot of like research and reading and stuff to figure stuff out. When he finally found the toaster he wanted years ago, he showed up to like a Macworld or WWDC or something, and all of his buddies showed up with that toaster for him, so he would stop fucking talking about it. It was a great surprise.
The wire cutter recommend the Cuisinart CPT122 2-slice compact plastic toaster.
It is $30 US from Walmart.
That's the wire cutter's pick?
Yes.
toasters don't need to do much fancy.
Upgrade pick, the Breville BTA 720XL. I guess it's 720p then. And it's $80 US from Amazon.
Or you could be like me and keep your eyes peeled for a Sunbeam Automatic.
What was that motto again?
Oh, so automatic you'll think it's magic?
Automatic beyond belief.
That's it, yes.
That's the one.
My solution to this problem is to just not eat toast.
Automatic beyond
Here we
human
go.
comprehension.
The Cuisinart CPT 3000 View Pro glass 2-slice toaster.
Glass.
It's $53 at Home Depot.
Really?
There
And
you
it
go.
has a glass wall, or what we call a window, so you can watch your toast being toasted.
A glass wall?
People with glass toasters shouldn't toast stones. Oh my god, I'm mad at myself. Because people with glass toasters shouldn't toast scones.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got there in the end.
You'll want to take off the nub.
Oh wait, I did that in the wrong order.
Oh, and on the toaster. Thank you. The nub.
So this has to, hang on.
Yeah, you need to stab it through the hole with the...
Well, first I have to plug these back into the board. This is an unnecessary amount of effort to confirm that this thing doesn't work, but here we are.
It's also more compact when you put it in the garbage.
You can also go with one of those
Oh,
loop in the
you're
third toaster.
blocking your mic. I can't hear you. Ian, you were blocking your
Yeah,
mic.
no, I'm just trying to remember where my mic was.
Oh, okay.
Loop in the third toasters, Star Wars toasters.
Avid video toaster.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That toasts, I believe, 30 slices per second, usually,
Yep.
at maximum.
Those old Apple wallpapers with the flying toasters.
Ooh, wow.
After Dark.
Yes, from Berkeley Software.
Oh my god, why can't... Oh, there we go. Hang on, almost got it. Okay.
Insane helpfully points out. Silence.
Yep.
I did a thing where when I was trying to buy a new toaster oven, because my old toaster oven bit the dust, and I was like, I will buy a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And I overcorrected, and what I bought was a countertop convection oven.
Ha!
Those are really bad for making toast.
They suck for making toast. they're great for doing a lot of other stuff, and boy did I use it for a lot of other things. But I never made toast again.
And how do you feel?
I got rid of the oven too, because I realized after a while I'm using it, but it's running off of 120 AC, and so it takes a while to come to temperature. Like not a long time, but I might as well just be running the oven proper.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just decided that this is stupid to have this thing in my house.
Went away.
Yeah, but you can cook like a small chicken in it. You can cook like a half a ham. Like it's.
I just want to make... somebody in the chat there was like, rather than getting a toaster, you should get a toaster oven. I don't want a toaster oven. I want a toaster.
Yeah.
I want to make 2 slices of bread, warm and crispy, or occasionally an Eggo waffle.
Like I loved my old Black & Decker one, which is basically like your toaster you're holding but turned on its side. Like they're not very tall, and they're great for that because they make toast very well. And you can then you can put cheese on toast and tomato on toast, and you can toast it all together, and it's great. But they don't make them that way now. They make these huge hulking things that are just a lot of dead air that take up so much space in your counter.
Oh, thank you, Sketchy Details. They point out that Smeg makes a toaster.
Yep.
Do they?
Yes. Ooh, and it's got the big Smeg on the side.
Yep.
That must be a very expensive toaster.
I can only imagine.
It's the name recognition you only get from Smeg.
All right.
All right, well, whatever the opposite of the moment of truth is.
$547.
Really?
500. All right, well.
I think I bought fridges for less than that.
Were they quality fridges?
Well, no, and they didn't make toast either.
Ta-da!
It pops back
But
up.
if I hold it,
Then you can have the toast go as long as you want.
Then that's good, I think, because then you are controlling how much you want the toast to be
yes,
done.
I'm the master of my own toasting.
You're not leaving it up to the toaster to decide how you
Hell
want
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I'm not going to let some sort of machine bully me around with how much I want. I mean, that's what this dial is for, but...
So if this were a different program
Yes.
than the one it is right now, we could. If this were a program where we just chose to dive through and make this work no matter what, I would probably try to find another electromagnetic or well, you know what? I'd just rip the board out of there, grab one of those mechanical kitchen timers with a little
Yeah, an egg timer.
Right.
and attach that up with some wires to a simple contact in there so that when they came together, it would disconnect the magnet and pop everything up.
You know, I'll add, it's not actually getting very warm, if at all. It was briefly, and now I think it's getting cold again? Like, the elements are not turning orange in the way that...
Interesting.
Is the cord getting very hot?
No.
No, that's normal. Or it's a normal feeling, I mean.
It's not. You can feel something there, right? Like it's not nothing.
No, yeah, that is a slight.
Do the LEDs turn on? Let's find out. Bagel. No. No, this thing is toast.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. This, however, is not toast. This is just barely crisped bread.
Slightly warmed.
Well,
Well, that's unfortunate. But
If you really need toast, Ian does have the soldering iron right here.
yeah, I could draw your name.
oh. Operate only with crumb tray in place.
That's why it's not working.
Hang on.
If that is an actual reason.
No, it's definitely not, but wouldn't it be funny? That would have been so good. But no.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we were not able to resurrect your toaster,
Oh, well.
but we tried, and that's the important thing. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is we're going to take ourselves a short break here, and then we'll be back to file down some edges on the open DSKY and hopefully get that up and running. Don't go away. More Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry after this. Back to Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Live Video Entertainment Network. Unfortunately, we were unable to fix Graham's toaster, so he has been sent back to the editing mines to continue on the work there. But we will still continue on to get this open DSKY, the Apollo Guidance Computer replica, up and running. And while it is almost up and running, I do need to file some things down so we can get things all buttoned up and together. And so to do that, we're going to take some measurements, because that's important to do before you start filing things away.
I'm still surprised that you're as done this as you are, because I feel like in some way I must have slept through a lot.
Well, I don't know how you could have, because it was just a lot of soldering.
Yeah.
A lot of fun soldering, mind you.
Oh,
I
sure.
had a real good time putting this thing together. But all right, let me see here if there's an easier way to do this. Yes, there is. I'm going to take this off, and then we can get in and do the filing a little bit more, with a little bit more, a few more degrees of freedom, shall we say. Dear Dr. Ian, what's the best TTS or F? Ooh, you know, I do enjoy a good Tailor for my day-to-day stuff, but, I mean, tinkering is what I do for fun. Soldering is just a good hobby and a good skill to have, and frying is best.
Yeah.
Now that I put it through the paces, that's the one if I had to give up all others, I would keep frying.
Just for the non?
I would dress in a sack and use nothing but analog electronics held together by terminals. But a man's got to eat. Okay.
What is your favorite fried food?
Huh. What is my favorite fried food? I mean, just fried bread by itself is pretty darn good. But
So like a French toast, but less ingredients.
I would say, you know what? This is a katsu. In fact, that was when I was asked during my first trip to Japan what my favorite Japanese food was, I said katsudon. Because I do love me some katsu. Okay. So this is all going to be going behind a screen. So I can probably file away things with impunity. But I am thinking I might... no, there's no way I can get in there and push those down deeper. Okay, filing it is. But let's double check ourselves before we double wreck ourselves. Because this is what goes in front. So eventually we're going to take one of these sheets of paper. It's going to be applied here. And then this plastic is going to go in front of it, I believe. Yes, it is. And then the bezel, or bezel, as you
The bezel?
Yeah, depending on, how much of a terrible human being you are, will sit on top of that, like this. So thankfully, that means that I can just file this all under. No. I can file away at here and here with no problems whatsoever. Let's start by taking down the lip on this edge here. And for that, I'm just going to use this little sanding block, I think. Let's see how that works to start with. Not as aggressive as I'd like. Let's get a good aggressive file in there.
This is going to be great audio.
Mm-hmm. Gonna love it, everyone. How does that sound to everyone back home? Okay. And then we'll just clean that up with a few more back strokes. Don't breathe in the 3D printed powder, kids. Okay, it's starting to get into place. Is that going to fit? That is going to fit just nicely
So
itself.
if we just put the circuit board in the freezer for like about an hour,
That's one of the things I was thinking of too.
and then put the other thing on the back of the fridge for about a bit, so it gets nice and warm.
Oh wow, it looks like there might have been an error in the printing job, I think.
In what way?
So there's 2 steps down. If you get nice and close here, you'll note that there's 2 sort of bumps in the edge of that what would otherwise be a very straight line, and I don't think there's any reason for those to be there. And 3D printing is such a dark art as it is that it wouldn't surprise me if that's an error. Probably an error either in the runners, or maybe a loose belt.
Maybe someone knocked the machine.
Well, because it's a uniform bump all the way up, it leads me to believe it's something to do with the runner system itself. Because otherwise, it wouldn't be as uniform. It would just be on one layer. It would be barely noticeable. Am I using plastic files? No, Orion's Rise. I'm using probably diamond files. They're dollar store files, so they're what I had available. Okay, that's already starting to get in there a lot easier. It feels less like I'm going to snap everything off. So we're going to need to keep doing that for a bit, though. The problem is that if you start taking off more than a couple millimeters, you start getting past the outer walls and into non-layer territory.
The hollow inside.
Well, the infilled interior. Okay, we're starting to get there. And I think I'm actually going to take a bit off the edge of... you know what? I'm not going to take the edge off of anything on the actual components itself. We're just going to deal with the casing itself.
You don't want to use any board lube?
Some good old board lube.
Yeah.
What's your favorite board lube?
God damn it! Now I need a really good pun, don't I?
Dr. Norton's disc wax.
Flux wax.
Flux wax.
Dr. Norton's flux wax. I mean, because Dr. Norton's sex flux is something a little different, I think.
That was a top-selling game back in the DOS days. Marty. Okay. Oh, we're starting to get there. The minute this fits, I'm done.
So you're done.
I think we're done.
Okay.
Hooray.
I think we're done.
End of stream then?
No, not end of stream by a long shot. Now it gets interesting. Okay, now we need to screw this in to the screw the motherboard in with the 6 screws, which are slightly off section.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
It's not a bad thing either. All right, I just need to figure out. Oh yes, we're using the 6 brass screws, I believe, for this.
I have a question, Ian.
Yes.
What drink are you having tonight?
Oh, tonight's drink is once again more Brass Owl Chili beer, which I left behind from Monday.
Oh.
There was just enough for another pint, and I was thirsty. So I went and got beer, because there's nothing like alcohol to quench your thirst.
I mean, you're right. There is nothing like alcohol to do that.
No.
Nothing else like alcohol. Does it in exactly that same way.
Okay, so we're supposed to install these screws and not over-tighten.
What happens when you over-tighten?
Well, you strip it.
And that's not the ticket?
No, stripping it is not the ticket. Have I seen the thing that Paul added to the overlay yet? I don't know what you're talking about, Dark Morford.
Is that from last night?
Was it from last night?
Is it
From
an
AFK?
AFK thing?
Might have been. I don't know.
I think you would enjoy it.
What was it?
I think
You'd have to see it.
Okay. Hey! Wah! What?
We'll never need you again.
I guess not. That's weird.
It is. I hadn't even seen it before. Matt mentioned it. I'm like, oh, I'm looking right at this button that says slap. Well, I wonder what that does. And then Matt brings this thing up. He's like, oh, you see the new thing? And I'm like, oh, this must be a new thing. Sure.
Yeah, it slaps.
It's not a banger.
Oh. Yeah, now we just need the sound effects to go with it.
Oh yes, the various slogans. There was a sound effect in there.
Was there?
Yeah.
I'll do it again. Hang on a second.
Oh.
It's just a bunch of us hitting the table at the same time.
Yeah.
Sourced from one of our episodes, I believe. So I've got to install this board at a weird angle because of these screw holes in the wrong spot.
In the wrong spot.
Oh yes.
That's not meeting NASA's standards.
No, there's a lot of let's say,
Creative solutions.
I was going to say slop in this this design, which is fine. It's it's meant to be a replica board, not necessarily a perfect reproduction. Like, I don't think that NASA had access to 3D printing technology in the late 50s and early 60s and today.
Well,
They do today.
At least they didn't tell us about it.
So when do the hits of the 80s and 90s get to be part of classic rock?
Well, we were in Swansea the other night, and I'm sitting there listening to the music they're playing at a comfortable goddamn volume.
was
Let me
lovely.
tell you. Oh, I couldn't believe it. And it's dark, and I'm like, that's fine. I have a phone, so I can actually see things on the menu. But I'm comfortable sitting there, and then I just realized, I'm like, oh wow, we're back at the Windsor.
The Windsor being our old university Hangout, yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're back at the pub again, and it's the middle of the 2000s.
All Star.
Yeah.
All Star came on the radio.
There's a whole
Really?
bunch of stuff, and I was like, oh, neat. Christ, that was 20 years ago, wasn't it?
Yep.
So that's good.
It seems like now, as in the hits of the 80s, 90s, and now, extends 2 decades.
It will. I actually don't, because of how this is how I feel about this. Classic rock is the hits of the 60s, 70s, like maybe even the 50s, but generally it's the 60s and 70s. Stuff that is like rock, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Rock and roll is that which came out of the 50s leading into the 60s, which is now 2 very different things. And I think, because I even used to listen to a station that was like the hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, because that was like during the 2000s. I think that the 80s and the 90s are going to blur together real heavily.
Are we gonna have to call it like their own period of time?
Probably, because I think grunge is going to fall off of that and blend into the 2000s. Like the grunge was kind of like the forefront to stuff that was coming in the 2000s. And I think it's going to get carved off from like anything that was in the 80s, like post-disco. And like early hip hop and stuff will also be a part of that in especially in the 90s. But anything that's grunge is going to lead into the rest of the stuff like that's been happening for the last 20 years essentially.
And
That's how I feel.
my feeling on it is that no self-respecting host of a radio show wants to call a decade the noughties. So they're just avoiding it by saying, now.
Yeah, it hits in the 60s and 70s and now.
And
yeah.
today.
But I don't think we ever lose what those, like, classic rock is always going to be that stuff that was like, it was the rock times, right?
I think my question breaks down to oldies stations.
Yeah.
When does oldies expand?
And that's my point. I actually don't think it does because we spent too many decades. We never had oldies in the 60s, right? They weren't doing that then.
Well, because they didn't have radio that went back that far.
Exactly. And because now we have radio that goes back that far, we've spent the last 20, 30 years thinking about oldies as being the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s.
Yeah.
Can you get me the iPad again, please?
iPad?
Yeah. I feel like they'll be unable to say, well, the oldies now considers the 80s and 90s because we know the oldies as like, Buddy Holly and Elvis Presley. That's what oldies are.
Well, it's kind of the same problem with Christmas music, for example. Pretty much all of the big numbers that everyone hears all the time is from like the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, with
And
some stuff
then-
from the 30s and 40s, but yeah.
And then there's Feliz Navidad, which is like 2 decades later, and then nothing.
Yeah,
Except for Mariah Carey's version.
which is probably like one of the finest Christmas songs, like one of the most popular Christmas songs like written in recent decades.
In recent,
Nothing
yeah.
else has actually hit that, I think, other
Pretty
than
much.
novelty songs.
All right. Like it's interesting too. I was listening to an episode of Roderick on the Line where John was talking a bit about his Christmas album he did with Jonathan Colton, and at the time, like Jonathan Colton, it was coming off of his his big release, and he was feeling like he could do no wrong. That like, oh yeah, music is just going to happen. It's going to be great. And John was thinking like, oh yeah, this is going to be great stuff. I'm going to be making this Christmas album with this well-known musician now. It's going to turn out to be just a slam dunk of an album. And they decided to make some new, brand new Christmas tunes. And his thought was like, oh yeah, everyone's going to love this on the internet. Everyone's going to love it everywhere. I'll be able to, we'll have all these Christmas specials. Wanted to hire us to play on things, talk shows and whatnot. And turns out, yeah, he would have had all that if they'd just stuck to the standards of Christmas music. If it was just a Christmas cover album rather than a thing of all originals.
People don't seem to want new.
People don't want new Christmas music.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I mean, I don't want Christmas music.
Yeah, that's me too. I used to keep all of my Christmas music separately tagged by genre, and I would, after December, uncheck all the music in iTunes to make sure it didn't play during the year. And then it got to the point where I said, well, okay, I'll just, remove it from iTunes and I'll keep it in a separate folder, and then I'll, bring it back in for Christmas. Now, just no,
Yeah.
it's gone. I think I've got one Christmas song, and that's a song I can enjoy all year long. It's Prisoner Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm unfamiliar.
Well, when December rolls around, we'll be sure to loop you in.
Great.
That is Christmas music. Oh boy! Guess who hecked up
Oh, what did you do?
all those screws I put in?
Yeah.
Gotta take them out.
Oh,
You
great.
love it.
What occurred?
So all these buttons that I was just laying out to get in the right place,
Yeah.
those need to go in first.
Oh, I
Yep.
see.
It's okay, now I got pilot holes, so so putting these screws in a second time will be much easier.
It'll definitely grab just the same way.
Exactly.
Now,
Flathead screws, Mike.
a full week after Christmas is the holiday that I prefer more, New Year's. What are notable New Year's songs for you?
Old Lang Syne.
Yeah.
What else, though? Are there
Old
any?
Lang Syne
Yeah.
and Old Lang Syne.
Well, it's verse 1 of Old Lang Syne,
Yeah.
verse 2 of Old Lang Syne,
Yeah.
and verse 3 of Old Lang Syne.
Absolutely.
Mm.
There really isn't much in the way of like. I can't think of
Like
of-
you
of
two
a-
had that one
You two had a song about the New Year.
New Year's Day.
Oh,
I don't. That's not the title of it, but that's part of the
Gotta
lyrics.
see me on New Year's Day. I think that was it.
I think.
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah. I think it was about a revolt or something because they are always political.
Ah,
Usually,
yes. Okay, that makes sense. It's
Yeah, New Year's music is not.
Mara's calling us out, saying nobody knows more than one verse of Old Lang
Lang
Syne.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you, there's one group of people in the world who know every verse of Old Lang Syne who aren't the Scots,
Yep.
and that's Freemasons.
It's one of my favorite parts of Freemasonry. Is the singing of Old Lang Syne.
Oh yeah. I still feel like that was a thing. It seemed like the lodges in Edmonton predominantly did that, especially like our lodge did that. I don't think a lot of other lodges did that because I don't remember it at other lodges I visited.
Not especially not to the not to the happy extent.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, it wasn't dour when they were singing.
No,
It's just
no.
like they didn't really like. It wasn't a thing that came up that much. Voslin asks, "Are y'all Freemasons?" I took a demit.
Yep.
I believe Ian did as
I
well.
as well. So it's kind of like the Marine Corps in that you can you can be drummed or you can leave the Corps, you can be drummed out of the Corps, but you're a Mason for life.
Yeah.
And I am not currently or ever have been a Mason.
If you want to be one, just ask one.
I just really want to know the name of the goat.
We can't confirm or deny the existence of a goat man.
I know. But I assume there's one there.
Actually, no. I do have good music for New Year's.
Great.
Oh, good.
And it's all the music of the year that happened because it's played on Kohaku.
Kohaku?
Kohaku
right.
is the is probably one of the biggest television events of the year in Japan, where it's basically a countdown performance, and it's all special for New Year's. I
They
don't know
split
how to
everyone
describe
into they split everybody, all the performers into red team and white team,
Mm-hmm.
and then they sing against each other essentially. So red team will do a song, and then white team will do a song, and they do that all goddamn night. While I'm
God.
busy watching Downtown's Gaki no Tsukai New Year special, and then at the end of the night when the bong hits, they somebody wins.
Yep.
When the bong hits, you hit the bong.
Yeah, pretty much.
852.
Don't you get the best of booty every year too?
Yeah, although it's been a while since I've actually looked into that.
Okay.
And of course, Best of Booty Rio to go along with it. For a while there, the Rio ones were the real slapper bang boys.
The Slapper Bang Boys.
The Slapper Bang Boys. It's my favorite gang in Red Dead Redemption. Oh, damn Slapper Gang boys are at it again.
To Amelie, the Knights Templar have multiple organizations, one of which is associated with the Royal Arch degree, of Freemasonry, or the Royal Arch, not branch. What is it called? The Royal Arch Rite of Freemasonry. But not all Knights Templar are Freemasons. Some of them are part of different groups that are also fraternal organizations. And I'm not going to say if any are good or bad or whatever, because I have no idea if they aren't. All I know is that you can become a Knight Templar if you become a Freemason, get through all your degrees, and then join the Royal Arch, and then get through those degrees as well.
It is one of the methods through.
Yeah. And that is one of those things where it's like, that's a title. It's not like a function. You don't have a duty associated with it, I don't think. Not like being a Shriner. If you're in the Shrine, you got shit you got to do.
It's a speculative knighthood.
Yeah, exactly. The Knights of Columbia are what the Catholics created because they were jealous of Freemasonry. While we're throwing shit out there, and I'm just talking grass. I'm just like, well, why not? Let's just do this. Dark Kettlefishman was curious, so
Yeah, it's fair.
it's like they say: once a Mason's always a Mason, but once a Knight's enough.
Ooh. That's one I haven't heard yet.
That's a joke I heard in the Shrine.
Oh, wow.
They talk a lot of shit about each other. It's all good natured,
it's
really,
great,
but yeah. That's right. The Scottish Rite is another branch. There are 33 degrees in total inside the Scottish Rite. The 33rd degree is one you have to be appointed to.
It's like becoming an ultraviolet.
Yeah, there's like a Memphis Rite, which is like 97 degrees, and I'm like,
Wow.
that's people getting like really caught up in what any of that stuff means.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it seems a little much.
Isn't that what the whole thing is about, of getting caught up in the details?
You do. I mean, but that's what people do. You get into a thing, and there's lots of stuff you want to learn and concentrate on, and that. So you start creating new rituals and new things to, have people focus on. But a lot of degree work in a lot of places tends to be, hey, everybody, show up into the hall. Great, we're all here. We're gonna walk through the degree and give you all the right answers, and you're just gonna read the answers back to us. Okay, cool, you're in.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
kind of not. That's not how Ian and I did it.
Not how we did it.
No.
We went to hard mode lodge,
Yeah, you study. You learn the stuff that you need to know, and then you
recite it back.
Yeah, and if you don't do it properly, it's your ass. It's like, no, you're not passing. You got to go back and study again.
They're serious about it, and you get you get to put on a really good show that way.
I agree. Like, that's fun because it's like being part of a play.
Yeah.
Especially the part about having to recite all of Romeo and Juliet.
Sorry, just getting a notification on my watch and just making sure I'm not being, posthumously demitted again or summoned.
There's a so Ricario mentions hearing about the Legion and Oddfellows and Lions Club, but they always seem like abstract things, like just random names to put on event halls. And a lot of them are, fraternal organizations. A lot of them are service clubs. A lot of them are meant to be places for people to gather to be part of, being part of something else. My parents joined Kinsman, which is a service club in Canada, and I guess also in the U.S., or has some U.S. Clubs.
I've seen those movies.
Yeah, and the Kinsman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And in Medicine Hat, they had one of the largest clubs in the 50,000 people live in Medicine Hat, and they had one of the largest Kinsman clubs in all of Canada.
Wow.
With like 97 members or something like that at one point. The Kinsmen were so big in Medicine Hat that they were building like ice rink arenas and stuff because that was a major part of their fundraising.
Yeah, for youth and community. is
Yeah,
what they do.
exactly. We want people to have stuff in the community, so we're going to help fundraise and we're going to help make these like civic projects happen. And so when I grew up, I was a part of that. I saw that happen. I saw the kind of things that and a lot of it is going to meetings and sitting around drinking and having a good time, but it's also doing the business and it's doing the work and getting together and running Oktoberfest so you can raise some money to put on other things for kids and. Doing the skate-a-thons and raising money for cystic fibrosis and like all those kind of things. And so, yeah, it was a big deal and it was very interesting. And I thought about joining when I got older and I didn't because I was moving between towns and stuff. But I joined Freemasonry because we had a friend who was a Freemason.
And there's a bit of it, what's the word? There's a bit of mystery to it too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I've always been drawn to lore and to
Cults?
not cults.
Oh, this is definitely not a cult.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see how they, because that was a question that was coming up even when Beej and I were involved, was how are these going to function in the coming years as fewer and fewer youth are interested in joining these sorts of fraternal organizations. And I'm curious to see how it will turn out,
Oh, absolutely.
because I don't know anyone who's part, like we, by all rights, by the olden days, at least the people here in the office, we should all be part of some sort of fraternal organization, like a kinsman or a Rotary or something, you know,
Absolutely, yeah.
doing things for the community and for our children and our common children. Hey, look at that.
As weird as it sounds, I give up a week of my life, if not more, every year to raise $750,000 for children's hospitals around the world. I don't
Yep.
feel bad about lacking charity anymore.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm doing my best.
We're doing a lot of good work. I think I just saw a tweet from I think Extra Fabulous Comics recently about the author showing up to heaven and speaking with St. Peter and say, "Did I waste my life drawing comics?" And he says, "No. Thousands of people read your comics every day, so really you wasted thousands of people's lives."
Yep. Yep.
Like, oh yeah, no, I feel better now, actually. I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I feel great.
We are not inventing a Desert Bus Fraternal Order, by the way. Let's just put a stop to that right now.
Yeah, women are allowed to.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the thing is, we're not. But if we were, we wouldn't be allowed to talk about it.
Great.
Woo!
You have a cord
Do I now?
pinched on the
Oh,
front.
yep, I see that there, yep. Let's not do that. Okay.
Feeling good?
Yeah, feeling really good about this so far. This is coming together so well. We use these screws on the outside now.
Is there something that you should put into the hole on the front panel there before you, like, I mean, front, camera front. There's a circular hole on the side.
Oh yeah, that's what this thing is for.
Okay.
That's just in case I want to like hook it up to you or have it powered by USB rather than things.
Okay.
Okay, so position all 19 button caps in a proper location. Carefully insert the PCB in top plate. It may be a tight fit and require a little sanding of the 3D printed component. Using 6 tiny copper screws, they're brass, screw the PCB to the top plate. Do not over-tighten. Using 2 of the socket head screws, mount the speaker. Check and on-off switch to the 3D printed midsection by pushing it in. Check. Using 8 of the socket head screws, assemble the top plate to the midsection, making sure the on-off switch and speaker hole is in the front. Well, this is a very different case, so solder a jumper wire to the audio out holes. Okay, so it doesn't tell me how to do the this bit at all,
Well, that's rude.
which I guess is just a friction fit. Oh yeah, it's just a friction fit. We might need to glue that in place later on. So I guess, yeah, we can button down the top, which we will do now using this hex driver.
How exciting.
Actually, I would prefer to use a bit driver for that because it's a bit more, how do you say, exacting. This bit is too big.
This bit is too small.
I think you might be right, Matt. Yep.
Is this bit just right?
Nope. Inside of this particular kit, that's all the bits you get
Oh.
for hex. Thankfully, I think I have some other hex bits in here in my master grip tool set. There you are. small bit driver. The cozy bit driver. There we go. Okay, are you this big? You are not that big. Are you this big?
It's a rather personal question to ask.
Well, I mean, we are about to get screwing, so we should probably all get on the same page.
Please tell each other how big you are.
Enough. For both of us.
The MTG My Little Pony cards are all silver bordered,
Yep.
so they are legal in unstable. I want a set of those, and I probably will end up getting a set of those.
They're inexpensive.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think
Yeah.
you should definitely get a set of
I'm
those.
gonna kick some money, and I think I can get a set.
It seems so out of left field to specifically have cards for My Little Pony in Magic compared to like anything else.
Oh my God, they're calling it Ponies the Galloping.
Yep. Remember, if you control Twilight Sparkle and Rarity and Fluttershy and Applejack and the other one. Wait, and Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, there we go.
Did I miss any of them? Doesn't matter. Then every pony wins the game.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to tap all 5 colors to make that happen, but yeah. Or pay all 5 colors, I guess.
I was going to say, because yeah, if you're talking about tapping, that's AO3's got plenty for you there. Ooh, that went all the way through. Oh, this looks beautiful. In all its 3D printed glory.
I remember hearing that there's an Applejack problem for for the new series, like the refresh they're doing.
Are they not having an Applejack in it?
I think they're going like, oh, well, Country Girl isn't really popular with the girls right now or something like that.
Fair enough, all right.
So they're like, what will we do with Applejack? This is a problem. We're businessmen trying to make business decisions.
Imagine the Roper and I mean, Applejack and Pinkie Pie are the only two that have been around since like the beginning, is what they've said. The ones that have kind of existed since Gen 1. So they would probably.
They could give her a rest too.
Yeah, it's okay, and you bring them in as like side character. Like you don't have to reference the Gen 4 characters at all, right? You just bring in new versions of them as side characters.
Give
Well-
the new pony a chance?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's probably going to be a collection of them doing their own thing. I will probably do what I did with Gen 4, which was take zero interest in this until somebody says, "Oh my God, the fans have jumped on an animation error, and now it's this amazing phenomenon." I'm like, "What?" And yeah, and now the animators have leaned into the animation error and totally acknowledge it. Oh, well, I guess I'll watch the show now because clearly they care about the fans. And then I'll become hooked on it for 9 years.
Again.
Yeah, again.
All right, just adding the last of the necessary screws here.
Fandom certainly is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
The last one I got stuck in was Homestuck. So
Hey. Yeah, I find it an interesting time for them to choose to do the My Little Pony card
Reboot?
thing. Because it is the end of
Gen
current-
4?
Gen 4.
I mean, it's kind of the perfect time to do it. It's like, this is the last you're going to see these characters.
it's a send-off.
Yeah, I suppose
Yeah.
it is a good send-off in that respect.
Yeah. I love the fact that it's the Twilight card, though, has 0 playability because they're only making a rarity card and they're not making any of the other main 6 into cards. Unless they are at some point, which would be weird because by the time they do that for a charity or something, or maybe it's coming sooner than not, I don't know, but I don't know who also is playing silver bordered seriously, so who cares?
All right. So time to apply a sticker. and not F it up, hopefully.
Good luck. I am very much aware that the MLP animators are located in Vancouver.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I know it's a Canadian product. I was like, hell yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Most of the voice actors are not Canadians. I don't know if they record in LA or what they do, but yeah.
I mean, that is a job that you literally can phone in.
You can do just about anywhere, yeah. Well, I mean, you can do it in your home, and you can now do it in your home, record and email it to your whoever needs it.
That was the thing I found amazing, and what finally got me to understand the value of ISDN was for musicians, radio hosts, and voice actors to be able to do their work remotely.
How'd it work? Did it go on good?
I think it did.
Nice.
It's got a little bit of edge there, but that's fine.
Hopefully.
A little bit of U2's The Edge never hurt anybody. Except on that one Mission Impossible soundtrack.
And that's the right direction for that thing?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Yes. Yes, it is. God, so here was a fun thing that happened to me the other day.
Go on.
I was looking up, as you do, the not discography, but the Wikipedia page of James May's works.
Relatable.
Cool.
Yeah. And I felt like I was looking through the stuff that's coming up because he's got a new series coming. James May, Your Man in Japan, which seems right up my alley. But here's where it got me. I'm looking through, James May's Cars of the People, Toy Story, etc. And then I get to an appearance, Phineas and Ferb, Ian. Like,
What?
are you talking to me? Is this reference directly at me? I did enjoy Phineas and Ferb, and I do enjoy a good James May.
You may also enjoy it.
Hey-oh.
Tight fit in there?
Yep, but that's good. That means it won't come out, ideally. And then we get this side in here.
It refuses. He said it does go down flush, right?
Yep. And I think I got the printed frosted window. Acrylic window. Huh. Hope I didn't get that backwards. Anyway, let's turn it on and see what happens.
Damn, I heard it.
Yeah.
Me too. Ooh. I see some lights on the bottom. Okay. I don't know what verbs and nouns to give it, though.
Get ye lamp.
Get ye lamp. Well, so this is the thing about the DSKY itself, is that it worked off of a verb noun command system, which I didn't remember. But I do believe that there's an LED test mode.
Eat ass.
Okay, Joker. Fine. How would I eat ass on this?
Let's see here. Which one's the verb?
Verb.
I think it's 8 and then 4, 5, 5.
8, 4, 5, 5. Enter. Nope.
You have unsuccessfully eaten ass.
Yep. Let's see here. Welcome to the alt store. Nope, that's that. Ah, that's unread. That's not. I want all my bookmarks. Okay. And let's go to view all the README. Because there's an updated firmware for this thing. which may or may not be in here. But we'll see if we can get any of these programs to load. Okay, so calling up a program. Items in the program table were called up using at least a verb and optionally a noun and some data. To try out your hardware, try pressing verb 3.5 enter, and it should then start the bulb and 7-segment display test. Okay, well, let's give it a try. Verb. 3.5 enter.
I'm seeing flashes.
Reset.
Yeah, I'm seeing flashes too.
Yep. Oh, program. Clear. Clear. Reset. Reset. Enter. Okay, let's try verb. 3.5 enter. Key release. Possible operator error.
Uh-oh.
Key release. Operator error.
Ian, why are you erroring?
35. Enter. Okay. Enter. Reset. 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 0, 0, 0. Reset. Enter. Oh, wow. Okay. So it just looks like it's this frosting is not actually transparent in any way.
Really?
Yeah. Or not transparent enough to get to shine through the paper. So I think what we need to do is actually print this off in something that's not paper. Or our problem is that we have too much light coming down on this for it to be visible.
Legible.
I could just cut all the lights in the studio.
Sure, like let's go to a top-down shot and cut some lights and see if we can make some of this happen.
Let's see, AFK.
The preview.
Oh, yep, can't do.
The camera is powered by that light.
Whee!
All right.
Whoops.
No, now that's very out of focus. Hang on a second.
Working on it.
God, I love doing this show.
I'm glad. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's like it looks good. But we definitely need to do real frosted glass. Paper is not a substitute. Yeah. In fact, I'm just going to peel this off here before it sticks forever.
And then you get a free piece of glass.
Turn up the live side. Let's see. Okay.
If I'm taking this off, I don't think we need to. Because yeah, you can just still barely see that through there.
Very
oh wow,
spooky.
I do like this.
Moody.
Yeah, remember this light setup for the end of the year. Oh God. Well, you know what? This isn't worth my. That's not coming off easy. So let's see what we can do here. Let's shut it off. Shut it back on. Okay. Nothing is happening. So, verb. Verb happens. Key REL. I don't know what that means, but if we type in 35, oop, that's 53. Clear that. Clear that. Reset that.
Crashes into moon.
Enter? Nope. Ah, key rel. There we go.
Key release.
Key release. Oh, let's try that again. 30.
Verb first?
Verb first, yep. 35. Enter. Ah! All the lights came on!
Great. And now they're off.
So now if you have the thing on top of it, how does that actually look through the windows and stuff?
So it looks interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Again, 35. Enter.
Ah.
Okay, it looks like for some reason the multi-segment lights are not coming on.
Multi-segment lights?
Yeah, sorry, not the multi-segments, the plus minus. I don't know why that might be, but we'll have to find that out later. Okay, well, let's see if there's any other programs that show up here.
Is Doom on it?
Doom is not on it.
Oh.
Let's go with verb 16. Noun. $29. Noun. 29. Nope, that's not on there. There might be another one. I'm trying to look up the instructables that, or the instructions that were given by the people who actually made this. Because apparently they didn't put much in terms of programming into it initially. So we scroll all the way to the bottom and then back up past the comments section. And okay, here we go. 3 of them. So verb, list, noun, program. Yeah, I can see why they thought the astronauts might find this confusing. Okay, so let's reset that. Verb, key release that. Okay, verb 16. List. Verb, list, noun. Okay. Noun will be 17. IMU 62. How do I enter in the IMU? Oh, program 62. We did a thing!
Yeah.
Ah, that's okay. Let's try this again. So, what do you program?
You might have to clear it first.
69. 69. Enter. All right, let's clear that all. Reset. Key release, reset, nope. Clear?
Key release.
Yeah, key release appears to be the way to release these.
Like it walks you
sections.
backwards? Do you think is that what it does? It like walks you backwards through what you just did?
I'm not even sure how this works. Program reset? No. Key release? No. Okay, verb. Let's try one more of these here. Let's go verb 21. Oop, that's the wrong one. Key release verb 21. Oop. Noun. $36. Program 70.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
And the others too. All those other things I said, we're going to do them.
That's a part that people don't really remember that much.
No.
A
Yeah.
little bit at the end, yeah.
Yeah. You choose to go to the moon and do the other stuff.
Yeah.
Don't even worry too much about that. It's not even that important.
Ah, you're don't really mind too much about the other things.
No. So I'm going. Wow, no. Before JFK moves to Australia, I'm going to say that this has been a fantastic Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry because we've succeeded, and I think we've actually done exactly all the things that we can do on this device as the firmware is set up itself. So maybe I'll bring it back for another day. We'll throw the new firmware on it if I can do that for certain, and of course get some better, get a better print job on this. Actually, you know what? I know someone with a laser engraver, or a laser cutter. I might have to ask them to make me up a cover. That said, success on one of the two things. It's going to look good sitting on our shelves. It's going to be fun to play with and learn more about these commands once we get more of them installed. I just do want to make sure that we have the ability to install it on the Arduino that's currently in there and won't have to replace it beforehand or replace it on air. But yeah, I think that probably means that this is a good time for us to bring this episode of Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry to a close. MTD CDM. Boy, I'd love to joke around about this being the this year's Desert Bus button, but I think this is a bit too much. I think we may find that the bustronauts may have a problem with the verb-noun command systems. But I want to thank everyone who came in here. Well, first of all, I want to thank the people in the room. Thanks to Beej and Matt for helping us out here. Thanks to Graham for coming by and assisting on the show earlier with his toaster. Thanks to all of you out there for watching, be it those of you who are active in the chat chatting away, or those of you who just want to sit back and relax and watch. We appreciate everyone who comes by for Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry and for all of our shows here at Loading Ready Run.
In fact, let's see all the shows
In fact,
before
yes.
we move on.
Yeah. Speaking of shows, coming up, what do we have on the schedule, Beej?
God, I wish it would come up. Hang on.
Well, while you're doing that, let me remind you
There we go.
that tomorrow, or actually in just half an hour's time, you'll be able to watch Heather, Beej, Ben, and Adam put together a run through Zelda 4 Swords Adventures. How is that going?
We are most of the way through it, and God willing, we will finish it this Saturday.
That sounds amazing. After that, we move on to a Friday. We are not ending the broadcast day here with Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry, but Friday, we start with a bonus stream. Alex is going to play Blasphemous, because that's holy. We're also going to have a Friday night paper fight, not with My Little Pony cards, but in fact with Magic cards that are real on Tournament Lego.
Are we doing the draft? Is it a Throne of Eldraine draft
I
again?
believe
Because I thought we did one like 2 weeks ago.
this might be Commander. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, because we usually do the draft after the pre-release, and then it was something else. Highlander last week, was it?
I can't remember.
Anyway,
Yeah. It's Friday Night Paper.
Magic is happening. You'll enjoy Magic. Then on Saturday, Adam returns to Japan to take on more Persona 5. And then, of course, the boys are back in town, and also people who aren't boys. Look, we
All y'all.
the people are back in town.
Yeah, the Lynx are back in town.
Yeah, the Lynx are back in town, and they're going to end up their 4-sword adventure.
Really hoping. Like, it's been a blast, but it's also been hard being here so late at night. So it's really nice to kind of see it through to the end.
And of course, on Sunday, we return for more Rhythm Cafe, and we will be playing Overpass. I forget what that's like, but I'm excited for all of our Rhythm Cafes. Monday brings us back to nothing because we are taking a break from our current Dice Friends campaign.
Because it is over.
Yes.
Yes.
Enjoy your time off too. maybe check someone else out. But Mine O'Clock will be back on Tuesday at 9 a.m. with James doing Mine O'Clocking, and then Talking Simulator will return with the Outer Wilds at 2 p.m. Will Cam and Corey take that on, and then Let's Nope will be featuring the Blair Witch game. It'll be spoopy. Watch Ben and Adam have fun with that. And if you forget anything I said or you want to figure it out for yourself, you can always go to loadingreadyrun.com/live for all of the great shows, both pre-recorded and streamed in nature. While we were talking about thanking people, I wanted to thank those people who were, again, we did all the thanks, except for those people who are generous and show your support over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. We super appreciate all of your support there, and we greatly rely and appreciate it because it keeps the lights on. We also want to thank, of course, all of you who show your support over YouTube. If you're watching this on youtube.com/loadingreadylive, check out youtube.com/loadingreadyrun. You can become a member there and support us in all of our crazy shows there. We also have youtube.com/loadingreadylive for all of our VODs, and youtube.com/loading...
LRRMTG.
Yes, LRRMTG for all of our magic content on YouTube. Finally, I'd like to thank all of you who've chosen to show your support via your bits and subscriptions here on twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun, which is where you are right now. I'd like to thank starting Andy with 68 months of subscription. Thank you for your support.
I would suggest cyanide.
Cyanide.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. That's probably cyanide.
Cool.
Cyanide.
All right.
And I'm here too, so I'll help by saying, Adelius3, thank you for your 15 months of support.
Then I'll do one too. Gravity Pike back for 67 months.
Thank you, Shirtle, for 52 months.
And thank you to Godort for 31 months.
I'm still waiting.
And thank you, Lying in Bedman, for 22 months.
Thank you to Anaximarius for 9 months of awkward name readings.
To Masu82, 35 months of good name readings.
JZ1011 for 32 months.
Ghost Monk, 125 for 8 months. Thank you.
And thank you to Lanthes for 36 months of support.
Gadeki for 63 months. Welcome back.
Thank you to Inari Kitsune for 21 months of delicious support.
Yeah, and Nosferatu, 22 months of support. Thank you.
Wow.
Ogier 300 for 49 months.
Thank you to Variable Vacancy for 29 months of support.
And thank you to Ashburnham for 49 beautiful months of support.
Karn 888 for 55 months. Welcome back.
Big ups to Johnny H for 5 months of resub. Thank you.
And Aenir798, thank you for accepting the gift from Not Kane Nor Able of being a subscriber to this channel.
I bet you didn't have a choice.
Operatical Agent returns for their 9th month.
I'd like to thank Doc Lisa for 5 months.
And Viral Lurk for 10 months of support.
I'll let you take this one, Ian.
Big thanks to Type 1, Azure Hates, Xantos69, Johnny H and E Block for those 1,654 bits. Dub bits. Good show. Good show, everyone. We got there. We did something in the end, and it made JFK sounds. And really, isn't that all we can ask for here on Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry? So for me and all the friends over here in the studio, this has been Tinker Tailor Soldier Fly. Ever forward, never learning.
Safety third.
Good night.